What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today when I talked about Virgin Galactic, I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out from the company itself, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So right now, Virgin is up 1.99%. We are about to head into power hour. A little low for volume though, so 4.4 million shares being traded, 8 is the average. So based on what you can see that's been happening on the intraday, you can tell just a lot of the volume is attributed to algorithmic trading. So AI is kind of dictating where Virgin is going, up, down, sideways. There hasn't been any recent news from Virgin, last news being on the 5th, and that was just this. So Virgin Galactic reports flight issue to FAA. I read through this. I don't really see that big of a deal. It's more of a misalignment. Didn't really affect the actual flight whatsoever, as what it's even stated in here. And I guess on a side note, hats off to Virgin for actually disclosing this, because I'm sure they don't actually have to do a PR on this. They're just trying to be very transparent. They probably should add it to their earnings, of course, add it as a note or a potential risk going forward. But aside from that, though, I see this news as fairly good for transparency purposes. Shorts are currently returning about 102,000 shares. 22.06% of the free float is being shorted. 80.86 million shares overall are being shorted, and cost to borrow average is 1.24%. So the way I interpret this information, with Virgin being green and shorts returning, it is kind of validating the green day. So that's, again, a kind of a bullish thing. Because on a side note, the reason why I'm bringing this up, short interest and all the other fun jazz, is more of a benchmark. It's a good tool to analyze. Not here to say that Virgin is a squeeze play by any means. If anything, if you kind of look at this, shorts haven't really done all that much. A lot of growth stocks, the short interest is almost at all-time highs, whereas with Virgin, if anything, they've actually been going down. And I do feel that's as a byproduct of that nice positive surprise from their recent Q3 earnings. As well, I do feel kind of optimistic, cautiously optimistic, for their upcoming Q4 earnings, just to hit the key metrics, and maybe they might have some more positive surprises up their sleeve once again. So let me know your thoughts on all of that. Aside from that though, there was a recent analyst rating that did come out from TD Cowen, Oliver, who does have a 52% success rating, so rather good for an analyst, and a $2.50 price target. So analysts, oddly enough, are looking a little bit more optimistic on Virgin. Like I said, maybe as a byproduct of the recent Q3 earnings, people are thinking that at least bigger and better things might be coming. As I've said, I think I was saying this mid-2023, not until Q1 2024, so pretty much where we are at, this is where Virgin does, in theory, have everything to kind of propel higher. Right now, the technicals are the only attribute that is really holding Virgin back, because looking at the Elliott wave technicals, it does have the pivot point being $1.96, and for as long as Virgin is below that, then it is anticipated to go between $1.34 and $1.44. So again, that's kind of the only thing that's really holding it back right now. As far as options though, right now there's about 50% of all the options being done today are bullish, but $35,000 in calls being purchased and 16 in puts. So again, some people are clearly buying it through options, not necessarily the physical stock, or else you would have a little bit higher for volume. Of the call options that are being purchased, there is a consensus for it to be, surprisingly enough, above 250 by the end of, looks like, March the 1st. And looking at puts, it is anticipated for it to be sub roughly about $1.50 to $2. So I think the risk versus reward is definitely there, and you can tell that based on the options. There hasn't been any recent large transactions on the secondary market above $100,000, but then again, that's kind of been the case for Virgin for a very long time. As far as looking at some of the fib levels and technicals with it right now at $1.79, it is exactly on this pivot point. So we'll just have to wait and see whether it does close above or below that. But as it stands, I would consider this $1.70, which it did bounce off of today, being the very strong support. So that's kind of the line in the sand. Vice versa, $1.88 is going to be that next strong resistance. We'll just have to wait and see exactly where it does close, like I said, above or below that pivot point right now. So overall, I think that bigger and better things are coming. Institutions know that, retail does know that. You can tell retail knows that by the momentum, so shows that they have been buying over the last little bit. Not so much today, but then again, that's, like I said, kind of normal for a Friday. But over and above all of that though, looking at stochastic, it is at 22, so that can be seen as oversold. So if there's a good piece of news that does come out, whether it be associated to maybe their upcoming Q4 earnings or something else, you are going to see a very nice value rally happen with Virgin Galactic, and hopefully get to maybe that $2.23 range, which will be that kind of high point on the Elliott wave technicals. So let me know your thoughts on Virgin. Do you think that bigger and better things are coming, or do you think that these technicals are accurate and that it's going to go to maybe the $1.50 range? What's your thoughts on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo as I've been sharing with you. Just simply sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.